Hello everybody! It's been a while since Dad and I have been on, so we're back!
Your mom's back.
You are, for a brief second here. Okay, so I'm going to do 10, I don't know if I call them my best books, my most favorite, but they're definitely at the top, way up there towards the top of the list. So here goes. And you don't have to sit here and get me company unless you want to.
I've been dismissed.
So the first one, and these are going to be not very good pictures, The Yearling is one of the earliest recollections I have of having a book read to me. And I was in 4th grade, and it was read by our 4th grade teacher, my 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Joyce, who was also my great aunt. So, The Yearling by Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings. And then the next year, which you can't see probably very good, oops, upside down. Our 5th grade teacher read Where the Red Fern Grows, and I loved the book, and I loved the way she read the book. You could tell that the book meant something to her. She laughed, she cried. So it was the first time it was the first time I saw someone express emotion while reading a book, and it's just, I think it made the book even that much dearer to me. I don't have one of the books. It's called The Virginian. But it was my dad's idea of reading books to us children. We were all pretty young. And The Virginian was definitely a young adult Western book, but we all loved it. I think we loved it because Dad was reading us an adult story. And after he finished that, he read us Patton. Patton I didn't care so much for, but we still liked it that Dad was reading it. But The Virginian I really liked. It was funny and had gunslinging and bar rooms and saloons and all that kind of stuff that goes along with Westerns. Another book that is one of my dad's favorites, so I picked it up after I was an adult, found it when we lived in New Hampshire, and read The Plains of Abraham by Oliver Curwood, and just a romantic book, even though it takes place during the French and Indian War time, and it's about settlers who were in this country trying to make a living and raise their families and all the hardships that went along with that. But there was always a love story. Okay, the author of The Virginian is Owen Wister. Thanks to Dad. Another book from my childhood that I passed on to at least my girls, if not my boys, and that's the Little House series. And I loved these. They made me want to have grown up in the 1800s and to be a homesteader and to break up the ground for the first time and to wade in streams but not necessarily get leeches on my legs. But I love those, and those I have read more than once. Shortly after your dad and I got married, we would read books to each other at night. And so one of the first books that we read that I loved was from the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler, and I loved it. I thought it was so fun. Another old book that I loved was A Girl of the Limberlost. I have a love for nature and for bugs and for working in the dirt and plants and watching things grow, and in A Girl of the Limberlost it sort of carries that theme. And okay, the next one, Walking Across Egypt, was given to me by the mother of one of Dad's students in New Hampshire, and I loved her way of doing books. When she found a book that she really, really liked, after she read it, she would pass it on to somebody else and ask them to then pass it on also. And so I actually have not been good at passing on this particular book because I really liked it so much, since that I buy new copies and pass them on. Celia's Lighthouse, I discovered all by myself in New Hampshire, and it's about Celia Thaxter, and it's fiction, but Celia Thaxter was a real person. So after reading the book, I got curious about Celia herself, looked her up, and found out that she wrote poems, and I read her poems, and I still loved her poems, and I thought it was kind of fun that I found a book on my own. Nobody recommended it to me. I didn't read it with anybody else. I just discovered it, so that made it kind of fun. And then I love books, any books by Alexander McCall Smith. I have especially enjoyed the #1 Ladies Detective Agency series. That has been a lot of fun. And I'm not sure what number this is, but I've kept up with every single one of them, and they've just been fun reads and just a peek into people's lives. And I think that's what books give us, is a peek into how other people live and how they feel, and helps us to remember that all of us have feelings and have struggles and challenges and triumphs, and that we're all in this together. And last, sort of a companion here, Megan gave me this book, The Best American Science and Nature Writing, and I've been reading it slowly for a couple of years now. And I came across an article about Darwin, fell in love with that. So then I jumped from there to a book I gave Megan, Darwin, A Life in Poems by his great-great-granddaughter. And I've decided I want to learn more about Darwin. Thank you, that was fun. And I will edit this so it's not 9 minutes long, but I'll keep this part.